Hey, hello, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be about how I turned my greenhouse IKEA cabinet into a figure cabinet. As you can see, we have a different setup in the background. This is right in front of my figure cabinet here. I used to collect a lot of plants a couple of years ago. I was really into them, mostly because I was working from home. I was a freelancer, so I had a lot of time at home to really collect so many plants. But now that I'm working a corporate job, it's very hard to kind of maintain that same routine when you do have a 9 to 5. So I just thought it was more efficient to turn this cabinet into something that I'm currently into, or my current hobby. I still really like plants. I have a greenhouse outside, so most of my plants that I keep in here are now out there, and they're all acclimated to be outdoors. When it gets cold, I'll probably bring them back into the garage or something, but don't worry, the plants are still here. They are thriving outside. If anything, they are meant for outside anyways, so they're growing pretty good out there. So but I did keep a few that I really like indoors. So if just in case if you're curious about plants in general, I really enjoy taking care of them, especially tropical plants in general. They're really low maintenance, honestly. So I really recommend if you're into sort of like self-healing, self-therapy, I think taking care of plants is a really good way for me to really for self-care. I think taking care of plants really helped me. But yeah, here's one of my plants that I definitely would not leave outside. I love this plant to death. So it needs to be indoors. This is the philodendron Florida Beauty, and it has really nice variegation, and I just love the way it looks, and I'm excited to grow it up, because the taller it gets, or as it grows upwards, the leaves gets bigger, and I love really huge leaves. So this guy is staying in here. But anyways, let's talk more about the cabinet. So I have my configuration for my setup is I have a desk and my Mac, and then my work from home situation, and then right beside that is my bio orb, as you can see there. Behind the Florida Beauty, there's the bio orb. Then right next to it, I have like this blank corner space, and that's where the plant cabinet was, or is now. And then right here, right next to me, if you can hear it, tap tap, is my other figure, my original figure cabinet. And that one is a rootsta, I believe, from IKEA. I like it. It's a really good size. I purchased it at the time because the detolfs weren't available, and I wasn't sure if I wanted a detolf in general, so I got this instead. But I really enjoy turning this cabinet behind me, which is a Milsbo, I believe, into a figure cabinet. I just like how clean it looks because it is white, and it's all glass. So with the rootsta, the backing is all black, this black metal, and I think the lights doesn't reflect as much, so you definitely have to you would have to really invest in adding more lights to your set in order to really view your figures. But I do like how it's an entire row of shelf, so you'll be able to kind of organize and style your figures in a way where it looks more pleasing to the eye, in my opinion. I think styling shelves is also like another skill to add beyond just figure collecting. So that was my personal issue with the Milsbo, even though I love it a lot. We have a giant, the doors, it's a frame metal door in white, and we have a really thick white frame right in the center. So when you open it, there's that no man's zone right in the center where you kind of don't want to add a figure right in the center there because you won't be able to see it. So that was the only issue, but overall, I think if you style it right, it will be okay. So let's talk about what was the first step. So the greenhouse cabinets, I hacked it, or like I added, I modify it to be basically an indoor greenhouse. So I have actually grow lights set up on top of each shelving platform, and then I added the what are they called? The pegboards, the IKEA pegboards in there, because that gives you more room to add smaller plants in the back, right in the on the back side. So the glass was fully utilized for the back and the shelves, but I took everything out and I had it for a couple of years. So taking care of plants and, you know, dirt and humidity, all that stuff, it definitely needed a deep clean. So that was the first thing I did. I had to clean the entire shelf just to make sure it was sanitized, no mold, no dirt, no loose soil, no plants, matter, or anything. It was really tricky just because the glass was old and stained ever since I've used it, and I got to a situation where my plants were getting so large that I ended up only using about 2 of the glass shelves. So good thing I didn't throw them away, so I kept them in storage, and then I'm taking them out now, but there's a lot of residue and just grime from use, and especially the grow lights. The adhesive backing to it was so strong. I had to go in there with some Goo Gone. Thank you, Goo Gone. Such a trooper. I definitely use Goo Gone on everything. So, you know, you let the Goo Gone sit on the area for a couple of minutes, and then I slowly came back and scraped all the adhesive away and any dirt. And that was a very long process. And don't be like me, and I actually did it like at midnight and dead of night, and I didn't really finish cleaning until probably like 3 a.m. and I was just trying to make sure not to wake anybody up, and I just Goo Gone spray, scrape, sanitize, wiped it down with bleach, Clorox, anything I could imagine. I just made sure that each shelving area and the cabinet itself was completely clean, and I wiped down the glass and everything, so it was good to go. That was pretty much it wasn't that terrible, honestly. It was just tedious because it took a lot of time, but I definitely liked the result. And the following day I went ahead and kind of configure some lighting situation, and I knew that I wanted LED lights that wasn't so separated, and I wanted more a cohesive line that looks more smooth. And I took it from my cosplay lights, and I soldered them and configured them to my the rows of the shelves. And then I used the leftover adhesives from the grow lights and the lights came with their own adhesive backing, so I just kind of adhere it to the glass because it's super clean now, so it had a good surface to lay on. And lighting wise, I did solder them myself, and I had to use two about 12 feet, and I soldered them, configure them to the size, the length of the shelf row. And then to hide the cords, I bought these cord hiders, plastic cord hiders that are really tiny, and they fit perfectly right on the side, and they're invisible unless you're really looking for them. I really like the way it looks just because the white on white, it looks so seamless. Beforehand, I did some janky, I tried to hide it with some masking tape, but you know, it definitely did not look as cool as adding those plastic little cord hiders. I wanted to configure my shelves into so the very first top shelf is going to be any figure that are laying, and so it's much shorter up top. And then so like my bunny girl, the Kelly girl from Saitom, the Fring, and then my Nurse Hikage, they're both like kneeling or laying down, and I think that's a perfect row for them right on top, so they're visible and you can see them. And then the next shelves, I try to evenly divide the next two shelves. So I wanted them to, so they're kind of configured to fit 1/6, 1/7 around that size. And then the next shelf is gonna be my Azure Lane shelf. So I only have currently two, but more on the way from I can't wait for the Formidable because she's going in that shelf. It's gonna look so good. I cannot wait for the Formidable. And then the bottom shelves are figures that are really large. So my the Tama from We Cross is in there, and then my Mitsune armor gunner girl is in there. The only issue is I haven't really styled the bottom, and I've gotten maybe one shelf kind of styled that I liked, which is the Saitom in Dark and the Magician Girls styled, and I like the way that looks in threes, and it's really pleasing to the eye. But the rest of the shelf, it's still work in progress, okay? But oh, I forgot to mention it plugs in through it's a USB lighting situation. I tried to set up through a smart USB. It did not work well. I think it didn't put enough voltage into the lights, so it got really dim, and it didn't look cool as this lighting here. So I had to turn it on manually, but it's not bad. I'm still using it once in a while. I actually don't turn on my cabinet every day, but I only turn it on when I'm here as well, because I'm kind of not sure about my soldering job. I just want to make sure nothing catches on fire, which I know it won't, but you know, like I'm kind of paranoid. But overall, it turned out well, and that's what I have so far. And I definitely did not regret turning the greenhouse cabinet into my figure cabinet now. I think it has more use and purpose currently, just because the plants were really outgrowing that cabinet space. It needed more area to grow, and I really wasn't taking care of the cabinet and the plants itself. I just came in there, water it, mist it, and then I'll leave it. But honestly, taking care of the shelf itself was probably one thing I really did not do. But now adding, now turning it to a figure cabinet, it just has a new life, a new purpose. It's clean, it's new. I mean, there's still some old, just like things I couldn't get off just because of time and use, you know. So but overall I think the glass still is okay. It's still in use. I think if you don't look at it too close, it still is pretty good. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you are using the Milsbo as your current figure cabinet, and if you're interested in all the lighting I used, and the IKEA cabinet itself. I'll definitely link it below in the description. And till next time.